Yeah, morning, Trace. A pretty calm session that we've been seeing on the floors. I think we've really only seen the US leading index as our main sort of event risk on the session. So a bit of a calm playing through in terms of cash markets. We've just seen the S&P close up 0.2%, the Nasdaq up 0.1%. Where we've seen the outperformance has been in the Russell. That market's up about 1.8, 1.9% as I speak. So certainly looking pretty strong, and we're looking to sort of test those 2,000 levels once again. Behind the backbone of that has been the banks. The KRE ETF has worked very well on the day, well over 2% higher there, and looking good for a continued move up in terms of the momentum that we've been seeing in that price. We're sort of looking for $55 as the sort of near-term target there. We've got our eyes on Japan today. The Bank of Japan will be coming out with their policy assessment. I think it's considered to be a fairly low vol event. We're not seeing too much buying in overnight yen volatility at the moment, but we should be getting that later in the session. Now, obviously, they're not going to be looking to raise rates anytime soon, but we will get new economic projections, inflation projections. The market will be looking at very closely indeed. So I think on the day, we are seeing a bit of tweaking of yen shorts. You're seeing that certainly against the Kiwi dollar, against the South African rand, against the Mexican peso. So something we are watching pretty closely there, just to see if we get a surprise in any kind of capacity. If we have a look around the region, though, as we have seen shorts covering, you've seen that in this sort of Goldman Sachs rolling short basket that's had a very strong day. We've seen high beta stocks doing quite well. ARC Innovation, for example, seeing some good gains playing through. And of course, we are looking ahead at earnings coming for this week from Netflix and Tesla making new lows on the session there. So, something that the bulls will be looking at very closely to get a turnaround. On the day, in terms of treasuries, no real moves coming through across the curve. We've seen a little bit of buying playing through in 5s and 7 durations. We're seeing yields down about 3 basis points. We've got 10s down about a couple of basis points at 409. And in terms of rates, we've got that March meeting just being massaged a little bit lower now. We've got about a 42% chance of a rate cut at that meeting. Obviously, all eyes later in the week at the core PCE numbers playing through. The dollar's pretty flat as a result of what we've been seeing in the lack of action in the Treasury market, but obviously something we are watching. And again, I'm watching that Kiwi dollar exposure very closely indeed. We've got a CPI number coming out tomorrow. Kiwi dollar probably looks one of the weaker currencies, and I think people are suggesting that if we get a weak CPI number tomorrow, then expectations of a rate cut from the RBNZ can come forward from May into April, and suddenly start talking about clear policy divergence between the central banks there. Gold's lost about $8.5 at the moment, down about 0.4%, looking a little bit weak on the session. Crude, on the other hand, is seeing some good gains. Energy stocks may like that one as well. You've got the crude price up over 2% at the moment, just pushing those range highs. I like the structure that we're seeing in WTI at the moment. We're just pushing into those range highs, and obviously a break of that and momentum longs can look at that one again. Bit of weakness coming through in Bitcoin. We're just sort of testing the range lows at the moment. We are finding a few buyers into those levels, but something that could manifest into something a little bit bigger if we do break these range lows coming forward. So all in all, we are watching for a little bit of a spike up in the Hang Seng on the open here. We'll see if traders look to sell into that one straight away. Got our eyes, as I say, through the session on yen exposures and also the Nikkei as well.